Welcome to Fun and Games Side Quests. Every episode is a different host sharing a video game they love and why they love it.
Hello, and welcome to this edition of Fun and Games Side Quest. My name is Ferlito. My pronouns are she, they. And today, dear listeners, I shall be offering my defense of the criminally overlooked 2005 game, Shadow the Hedgehog. If you weren't currently aware, we are in the midst of a Shadow renaissance. From Sonic 3, featuring Shadow as Sonic's newest rival, to Sonic X Shadow Generations, making Shadow a playable character in the main series of games in over 20 years. There is no better time to discuss the emo hedgehog's only solo video game outing than now. Let's start with some background. The game, Shadow the Hedgehog, capitalized on the instant popularity of the edgy hedgehog following his debut appearance in the critically acclaimed Sonic Adventure 2. Shadow's solo outing picks up where the previous game left off. An amnesiac Shadow is looking to uncover his past when the Earth is invaded by the, unfortunately named, Black Arms aliens. Their leader, Black Doom, quickly contacts Shadow, revealing he played a role in Shadow's creation. Black Doom tasks Shadow with retrieving the Chaos Emeralds, as supposedly promised, and bring them to the invading aliens. From there, the player is continually tasked with siding with Black Doom, humanity, or acting solely in his own self-interests. The gameplay is what you come to expect from a 3D Sonic game. High-speed movement, elements of platforming, and an overall goal to reach the end of the level as fast as possible. However, Shadow differs from previous and preceding games in one major way: guns. Throughout the entire game, Shadow is able to pick up and utilize human and alien firearms in an uncharted style of gameplay. Weaponry ranges from your standard pistol to, my personal favorite, an alien weapon capable of sucking in and condensing enemies to become projectiles. While criticized at the time, the introduction of firearms immediately sets Shadow apart from the blue blur. Where Sonic might ambiguously kill his enemies, Shadow the Hedgehog is out here killing people left and right. When it comes to gameplay, players were now tasked with managing weapon types and ammo. Furthermore, as you progress throughout the game, you unlock newer and delightfully weirder weaponry. In true 2000s fashion, Shadow the Hedgehog utilizes a morality system. Throughout each level, Shadow can typically side with one of three mission types: good, evil, and neutral. The parties offering these missions vary, including Sonic and Friends, Dr. Eggman, Black Doom, and, spoilers, Maria. These characters then become companions to Shadow, helping in combat but not overshadowing the player. Of course, the player can always choose to ignore these missions and focus on finishing the level neutrally, usually following Shadow's own self-interests. The rewards in the morality system are twofold. More quickly noticeable is Shadow's limited time access to two Chaos abilities: Chaos Control and Chaos Blast. The former becomes available to the player by filling Shadow's good meter. This allows Shadow to condense space and time, flinging him through a large chunk of the map in an instant. Chaos Blast, as you can guess, is unlocked by Shadow's evil meter. This allows Shadow to level a city block multiple times over. Does it get much better than aliens, firearms, and a hedgehog literally going nuclear? Finally, depending on the player's choices, Shadow can end up with 10 different endings. Some highlights are Shadow leading an android army to conquer the Earth, Shadow joining Black Doom, Shadow killing Black Doom but still conquering the universe, and for some reason, Shadow killing Sonic to crown himself the most powerful hedgehog. Naturally, completing all these endings unlocks the 11th true ending. Shadow teams up with Sonic and friends to defeat Black Doom, save the Earth, and accept his past. While the endings can, admittedly, be a little cut and paste, when they hit, they hit. Each one develops Shadow's relationships in intriguing ways. And at the very least, seeing Shadow murk Sonic as a 7-year-old shook the very core of my being. Before moving on, an honorable mention to the game's multiplayer mode. Here, two players can choose to play as either OG Shadow or Shadow rocking some solid gold highlights. For an extra challenge, players can choose to play as one of 4 android shadows that lose the ability to pick up weapons, but come equipped with either a machine gun or a rocket launcher with infinite ammo. Alternatively, you could also give a non-functional remote to a young family member and insist they're playing as Sonic in story mode. But none of us have ever done that, right? So, why am I defending a game from the mid-aughts that was panned by critics and features enough cringy emo angst to give the biggest MCR fan a run for their money? To tell the truth, it's because this was the first video game I ever played. That, or it was the OG Lego Star Wars. So yeah, it holds a special place in my heart, or whatever. Despite the floaty controls, unruly camera, and homing attacks that'll fuck you up more than they'll help you, it's a game of its time that acts as a time capsule, not only for the Sonic series, but pop culture of that period as well. Plus, it has an opening cinematic and song that goes so much harder than it has any right to. Apparently, I'm not the only one who believes this either. Sonic X Shadow Generations essentially acts as a sequel to this game. Sonic 3 adapts much of its story from Shadow's game and contains numerous visual callbacks. Sadly, Shadow the Hedgehog remains locked on the 6th generation of consoles. And while I am not here to talk about the importance of physical media and media preservation, although if anyone would like to join me on that soapbox, there is plenty of space, I do think it's a shame that more people can't play this gem of a game. However, if you can play it, give it a try. It may not seem like much, but to a little girl in the 2000s who didn't know she needed a memory card for her PS2, it was everything. Side note, Sonic X Shadow Generations, Sonic X Shadow, I see you, Sega, and I think you may see us a bit too well. Thank you for listening. Once again, I'm Violet Ferlito. I am a multidisciplinary artist, and if you're interested in learning more about my work or commissioning me, I can be reached at violetferlito@gmail.com. And happy gaming!
Hey, you there! This is Nomad speaking. If you love retro video games and you're itching for some nostalgia, check out the Retro Wildlands podcast. In each episode, I'll use game music and sound to pull you into the gaming experience while I share my own thoughts and maybe a few memories. It's a great way to relive one of your favorite games or learn about a new one. Check out the Retro Wildlands podcast at superpodnetwork.com or wherever you listen to your podcast.
CPOV. CertainPOV.com.